Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You guys, as all of you know, the crypto markets have been very volatile lately. These waters are rough and in all honesty have proven to be a bit hard to navigate, but in this video, I'll do my best to rationalize not only my price targets for you guys as we dive into the charts, but also try to rationalize and just kind of articulate my current thoughts around the current cryptocurrency environment as a whole, okay? So let's do exactly that. As always, we'll quickly go over each topic we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, you guys know the drill. Trading View, where we will cover technicals, price action, and price targets on the following names today in this order going down the watch list. Kicking it off with who else but the king, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, as I'm sure you guys have assumed from that intro, I do skew a little on the bearish side of Bitcoin. We've been going sideways for a long time. Again, I'll dive more into my thoughts from a fundamental perspective around Bitcoin as we do get into the charts. But I will say Bitcoin's skewing a little bearish. Long term, obviously a bull. Very big believer in the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Still early days, but short term does look a bit bearish for many of the reasons we'll get into once we dive into the charts. Okay, so Bitcoin, Ether, gotta talk Ether crossing $4,000 last night. Huge deal. Love to see it. Ether, as I mentioned before, Ether was like the first place in my trading career where I made a significant amount of money. Bought it back in 2017, like March or April of 2017, for about like 34, 35 bucks. So the fact that it's now at $4,000 is just insane. But again, things just overall, the general market environment, not only because things are red over the past couple of hours, aside from Doge, which we will cover as well, everything, in my opinion at least, just feels a little toppy as far as the short term is concerned. So again, we'll talk price targets on alts as well. Kicking it off, of course, with the king of the alts, Ether. Move on to probably my favorite play, my two favorite plays right now in the altcoin space, ChainLink and EOS. So ChainLink and EOS both, as far as altcoins are concerned, at least the ones I'm familiar with. You guys, I know there's so many promising plays out there, definitely from a price action perspective, but I'm not only a price action guy, although we do focus on charts a lot. I'm a big fundamental guy, especially in this space, because I'm a hodler for the most part in crypto, but I do still want to give you guys my take on price direction and price targets once again. Okay, so Link and EOS, probably my two favorite plays in the crypto space right now, especially amongst altcoins. Then move on to two plays that are actually the only things green on this watch list right now. Again, the crypto market's 24/7. So Ripple just flipped, but Doge, considering it just fell off, is seeing a little bit of a bounce right now. And I got to give you guys, because XRP and especially Doge are obviously such hype coins right now, I do want to give you guys my thoughts on those. And then the one article we do have to cover today is actually concerning Doge. But so the title is DOGEcoin, an invaluable fad that will help the cryptocurrency space, says exec. Okay, so this is not only about Doge. This does paint kind of a negative light on Doge. If you guys would know that I'm not a big Doge guy. I love the movement. If you guys are making money on Doge, if you have made money, congrats to you. Cheers to that, for real. I've never played it. This is a very, very classic pump and dump to me from someone who's made the majority of their net worth playing bubbles. But again, I do like how this is objectively kind of negative about what Doge is as an asset, but the effect that Doge has on the crypto markets is well explained, and I definitely agree with what is said in this article from this exec and the author Greg Thompson. So shout out to this article. We will cover this just kind of, again, to segue into the fundamentals, because the majority of this video is going to be very technical. We're talking price targets, we're talking technicals, but I do want to splash this in because it does kind of have that fundamental, it does segue that fundamental argument that I want to make about the landscape overall. Okay, so we'll cover all these names. As you guys know, I do have some of this crypto related stocks we talk about here a lot on the channel. Here, we're not going to dive into those today. I will cover those in a video over the coming days. But if you guys do want daily updates on many of the stocks, what I'm doing in my personal portfolio, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. It's $15 a month if you want all call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, of course. Literally an entire breakdown of my complete portfolio, exactly what it is, the percentage breakdowns, and I do update that every single trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I send out an email newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, letting you guys know what I think about the environment during actual market hours, and throwing some charts in there, throwing some price targets in there. So if you guys are interested in daily updates, once again, not only for crypto, but stocks as well, first link down in the description. Really means a lot if you check it out. But if not, as always, no worries. And before you do dive into the charts, I do want to give a word to our lovely sponsors over at BlockFi. You guys, I love these guys. If you guys were around when we got signed, the Waves family, partnered with BlockFi. Initially, I was so pumped, still pumped. BlockFi is seriously one of the companies in the crypto landscape that will be generational. These guys are going to be around forever. If these guys ever go public, if these guys ever have ticker like Block or something, I'm definitely picking them up. And again, it's such an honor to be sponsored by a company, partnered with a company that I've used and I've been a massive admirer from long before they reached out. So BlockFi, I mean, it's an easy sell in my mind. The reason I use it is for the interest account. You put your Bitcoin in here, you earn like 6% interest on it. Obviously, you earn the appreciation of the asset itself of Bitcoin, but on top of that, you get 6% annual. Okay, so I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Obviously, do your own research. But if you guys want to sign up for this, if you guys do want up to a 250, I think you got to deposit like 10K or 10 racks to get the $250 sign up bonus. If you want to do that though, blockfi.com/Royce. Again, it's an easy sell in my mind, but we will dive into this at the very end of the video. Go on to check out the calculator, the interest calculator, explain a little bit more about what BlockFi is. Okay. So again, hop into that at the end. Appreciate it if you guys stick around for that, but if not, same there, no worries. So let's talk price action. So price action, again, Bitcoin for the most part has been going sideways for a really long time. I'll zoom out. We're actually going to go to the daily candles after this. So we'll talk short-term price action for Bitcoin, but actually for the rest of these, I'm going to hop over the daily candles because at this point, this market is just, it's volatile. As I said in the beginning, it's very, very volatile on the day-to-day, but overall, we've just been going sideways. So short-term, I want to talk to you guys about this. So short-term, Bitcoin has broken the ascending channel that it was in. It does look a little head and shoulders-y. At the same time, it does look a bit like higher highs and higher lows right here. So high, low, higher, high, like right there, little higher low, just barely. And this is just barely a higher high. So again, very volatile, but for the most part going sideways. And we did break below that. I'll just talk to you guys about my short-term price target because we've broken this. And just because, again, from a fundamental perspective, we've been going sideways for such a long time that it just doesn't feel like sentiment is there. I talked about this in the Discord live chat, the live Q&A we did yesterday. It was like hour and a half. So shout out to the Discord link is down below too if you guys want to do the Sunday live Q&As. Hour and a half in there, but we did cover, or I talked about how a big thing that I'm thinking about is if I was a whale, if I was a market maker, an institution, a hedge fund, and we know they're out there, we know they want Bitcoin. If I was one of them, if you have large, like tens of millions of dollars of capital that you want to allocate into this asset, because obviously institutions are very interested in Bitcoin, but if I was an institution, I would just know for a fact that at some point we are going to correct to the initial high, which is this red line right here at the very least. Okay, so that's kind of a big argument from a fundamental perspective that just crosses my mind fairly consistently, is that big money doesn't really want a part of Bitcoin right now. And you can tell retail interest, which is actually like institutional interest, did contribute to some of the very impressive price action we've seen over the past couple of months. But retail interest is what's actually propelled this. And you can tell just looking at the chart that retail interest is slowing a bit, especially considering so many alts are on fire. It's going to be interesting to see if capital does flow out of alts into Bitcoin and Bitcoin regains some dominance. But in my opinion, just again, playing these bubbles before, playing multiple bubbles before things, just the way these charts look right now and feel, almost more importantly, is very toppy, at least as far as the short to medium term is concerned, okay? So short-term price target for Bitcoin is going to be to test overall support. Let's actually go to the daily here just to zoom out a little bit, and we'll actually stay on the daily. So let's get rid of this guy because that gets a little annoying, and zoom out. So price targets for Bitcoin. Again, I'm definitely more bearish than bullish at this moment. I think it's very likely that at the very least, Bitcoin will come once again down to test the line of support. Very, very strong line of support here was used. This is what was used as support. So confirmed support at the end of April, a few weeks back. And it's very, very likely to me, just again, for all the reasons I just considered. Volume, even here, like looking at this volume, there's barely any volume anymore. And I do expect us to, at the very least, come down to test support. If that happens on May 15th, in about 5 days, by the end of this week, that would take us down to about $50,000, give or take. So conservative price target short term by the end of week. So that would be about 55K, 55.5K right now. That would be a 5% decline, 5.5% down. I'm sorry, 10% down, roughly 10% down if we drop 5K to $50,000. So I do expect probably like 10% decline in the Bitcoin price over the course of this week. Because the markets are volatile, even the equity indices are looking a little rough today. And I will cover more how I'm hedging. Shout out to the portfolio group again, how I'm going to be developing hedges over the coming days to what I believe will be a further pullback in the equity indices. So the S&P 500, the triple Qs, the NASDAQ, I do think are going to see some pain over the coming days, over the coming weeks. And that's just kind of how the summer cycle is. But again, Going on a tangent a little bit, I will talk about that more as we move into the week. But Bitcoin, again, kind of same thing. If the equity indices sell off, if tech starts to sell off, it only makes sense to me that Bitcoin, from an investor sentiment perspective, will also sell off because it's bashed in with risk on with tech-based assets. Again, very different, very promising. What it is, Bitcoin, digital gold, of course, absolutely scarce, amazing. But just because we've been ripping so hard, I do think Bitcoin is going to fall. So initial price target for Bitcoin by week's end is going to be about 50K. If we come down to my ultimate price target, again, this is the level where I do think investors, large scale investors, so whales, market makers, once again, institution, hedge funds, will want to buy. At least that's what I would do. This is what I'm doing. If Bitcoin comes down to test the initial high of this rally, which is about at 41K, we could come down even lower to about 25K, which would be my ultimate price target. So I would say actually it's very possible. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Bitcoin come back down to 25K. I know that sounds crazy, but that's technically the initial high. 41K is actually a pretty conservative initial high, but I do definitely think if we do break like 40K, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I do think 40K is likely. If I was an institution, I'd personally be comfortable, and even me as an investor, because I do have some cash on the sidelines right now, right, like dry powder at the ready for what I believe will be a greater correction. So Bitcoin initial price target, end of week price target is going to be 50K. Overall price target over the coming weeks, because things can happen pretty darn fast. You guys know that. You guys know the drill there. Is going to be $41,000. And again, if we break 40K, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's move on to Ether. So Ether looking great, man. All-time highs. Ether is now in blue sky, technically in blue sky territory after breaking very significant resistance. So actually, a lot of traders were looking at this. I guess you could say this is resistance. I think this is a much more conservative resistance that you can see is actually coming to play significantly more. So this trend line right here. Again, you guys know the drill. When I do make these trends, especially when I'm setting price targets that I want to share with you guys, I do like to not include tops, like not include tippy tops, because that's what most traders are going to be looking at. And if you get greedy, that's what you can look at. And again, especially considering I've like my entry price on Ethereum, my average cost per ETH is very low. I'm not trying to get greedy here, and especially in this market when there's so much hot capital, when there's so much money just being thrown everywhere, getting greedy is what you really don't want to do. And that, again, that kind of segues into Doge, into what's happening with Dogecoin right now. Okay, so Ether, blue sky territory, could break out the fibs. Not going to do that because I don't think it's really important where it's going to go. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not important. When you're in blue sky territory, fib fans and stuff, Fibonacci fans, are one of the only few things you can use to dictate certain levels to the upside or downside if you do a fib retracement. But right now, ETH, I do think, considering everything I've been saying, things feel toppy. I do think ETH probably will see a correction after its high. It's at 4K. That's awesome. Personally, I did take a little bit of profits on ETH today, and I will likely continue to do so over time. Again, just because I'm not trying to get greedy, I do think we'll see a correction. ETH has absolutely crushed it, as all of you know, and it's great. And again, the future of Ether is so bright with blockchain, with DeFi, blockchain, everything in the actual like finance aspect of crypto, of blockchain tech is pretty much built on Ether, NFTs, everything. So Ether, very bright future. Short term, I do think we'll see a pullback as well. So the levels below are going to be my price targets. If we break below this trend line right here, which I do feel is pretty strong. More importantly, if we break, I would say right here, this level right here, because this did come into play over a few days here as well. So if we break, I would say like $3,800, then the next level I'm looking at is the central trend line of the ascending channel that we've been looking at for the past couple of months. That would take us to about 3,200, and then if we break 3,200, just say 3K. To play it pretty conservatively. So that's a 20-25% drop down from here. Then the level I would be looking at is to test overall support, which when Ether corrects, I do think it'll correct to at least about 21, 20. Of course, you guys, these price targets are all dependent upon when these trend lines are hit. So if it happens, again, May 25th, in a couple weeks from now, that would be about $2,200, okay? So as I always recommend you guys, always get into TradingView for yourself. Get a professional plan. Highly recommend that. Just to have more. Actually, you don't even need a professional plan. Just the ads are irritating. But get into TradingView for yourself. Draw these trend lines. Draw these price targets, especially if you're trading them. Even if you're not trading them, I don't even trade these, but it will help your skills. If you're trading equities, of course, trade equities. So it just allows you to learn the ropes. If you're newer, I know many of you are very experienced. I'm just kind of talking to any of you who might be newer. Always go into TradingView for yourself, draw these trend lines, keep it on the price targets, okay? Even if you're not trading, just to learn, all right? So there's a little PSA. Let's move on to Link, EOS, and then we'll just kind of breeze through these. So Link, again, is looking good. I still think it's very, very likely which is kind of counterintuitive considering I said things feel toppy just now. Link, as far as all alts are going, just because, again, Ether did just reach a new all-time high. Ether's been absolutely ripping. Link actually did reach a new all-time high as well, so I'm not going to say Link has been lagging by any means. But as far as Link's channel is going, I think Link looks very, very impressive. This didn't sync, sorry guys. So as far as Link's channel is going, I really like the look of this. So higher highs, higher lows, high, low, high, higher, low. I do expect us to see one more move to the upside. Again, if capital does flow out of Ether as well, Link is a very sound pair to Ether. It's very easily convertible with whether you're using exchange or a wallet or something, digital wallet. So I do think that the bull case for Link from a fundamental perspective, which is actually about to flip green right now, love to see that, is the fact that we're seeing higher highs, higher lows. Link, as opposed to many other plays in the space, are on the lower end of its overall channel. So Link, very similar to Ether, we covered this last week. Very strong, beautiful textbook ascending channel right here. Broke below it, created the lower level ascending channel, but it's all part of one massive megaphone channel. So I do personally think Link will come up. Let's do May 19th, the B-Day. So if we hit it mid-May, like May 19th, May 20th, that would take us to over a $60 Link, okay? And we did just reach a high, all-time high, $53. Love to see that. The Coinbase account on fire. Love to see that. But I do think we can break $60 over the course of this month. Will we break this? If we break this trend line right here, which was previous support, proved itself as new resistance, this trend line will definitely come into play. $60 also a psychological even. If we can break conservatively like $65, if we can break back into the original ascending channel, which is what Ether just did and actually broke out of the top. Like Ether right now, this is a very similar looking chart. Once again, we covered this last week, so I don't want to do it again. But Ether right now, it just broke above like this absolute line of resistance on the overall uptrend on this like megaphone ascending channel. Okay, so if we can break that, just very conservatively, if we can break $70, I do think we're on our way to like 80 plus. But again, this market is tough. It's very tough to dictate. But as far as potential winners go in the space, if capital does flow out of Ether, because it's just been ripping all-time highs, ATHs every day, I do think Link is a good candidate for some of that capital outflow, and especially considering the market cap is significantly smaller. Even if some of the capital from Ether flows into Link, that could appreciate the share price significantly. And even more accentuated by that argument, because its market cap is significantly smaller, a very exciting project as well, which is EOS. Okay, so Link, of course, made plenty of videos about ChainLink in the past. I believe, last week I did that, the ChainLink analysis, redid the ChainLink analysis, so check that out if you guys didn't for more fundamentals. EOS as well, just an EOS video last week, so go check that out if you want to know about EOS's fundamentals. But both very promising projects. EOS specifically as we go into the summer, because they are launching Voice, their platform. Super exciting there. And yeah, EOS looks pretty darn good. So EOS absolutely ripped on that news about kind of the staking and reducing the amount. Very simple supply and demand. When you announce that you're going to be creating less coins and it's going to be harder to get coins, obviously that's going to appreciate the share price if you have that audience, if you have that fan base. I've been a fan of EOS. EOS definitely has a fan. It's the original ICO coin, or initial coin offering coin, raising billions of dollars back in 2017. Projects are good. The blockchain, like the actual tech behind their blockchain, is very efficient. It's fast. It's scalable. So that's good from a tech perspective. From a fundamental perspective, they're doing big things. From a technical perspective, they have broken back into this channel, which is a little unfortunate. So EOS, again, we were following it over here like late April. I was like, EOS is a great buy. I hope some of you got in, because we 2x'd in the span of just a couple of weeks, which is amazing to see. And obviously, again, there was a fundamental catalyst there. But EOS still looks good right now. Overall, just aside, these channels aside, I am looking at just a very, very accentuated higher highs, higher lows. So as you can see here, let's go back. Let's draw this trend line right here. I'm just looking at this right now. So EOS did base out high, low, higher high, and then it looks to be establishing a higher low. And again, we're gonna have to see if all things correct, if everything is just topping out right now and everything's going to start a correction, or if the larger players like Bitcoin, ETH, which are obviously have the largest market caps by far, like by a long shot, like Bitcoin and ETH consume like 60% of the entire cryptocurrency market, probably by market cap. It would not surprise, like 60-70%. Let me know in the comments down below if you know that exact. We could go into coin market cap right now and do that, but I don't really want to waste your guys' time. But again, Bitcoin and ETH, if the capital flows out of those projects into more promising projects, because capital does still want to be put to work for the most part, at least that's kind of my thesis. It's like Link and EOS are very good candidates. Like they've been tradable for a long time. They're easily convertible from plays like Bitcoin and ETH. And even if people start to educate themselves on, again, the reason I like Link and EOS is for fundamental reasons that, again, you guys can go watch those solo analysis videos if you want to know from a fundamental perspective why I'm very bullish on these two projects. But Link and EOS, very good candidates for that capital outflow. Ultimate price target for EOS is going to be kind of right now just around $15. I don't know when this is going to happen, but I do think EOS, similar to Link, could see another rip up. The first price target is going to be about $15. Next price target, as we zoom out, if we go back to 2017 here, let's see if we can scale down. EOS's all-time high is at about $23. And considering EOS, again, this is hype. This is straight up hype. Right now, they have so much more they've made so much more progress. Obviously, in 4 years, the progress you make as a company when you have capital like EOS does, they've been doing big things. Same as Link, same as BTC, same as ETH. The infrastructure around all these projects and what they're actually doing from a fundamental perspective is scaling, which is why this is not a bubble. Is it a little overvalued right now? Maybe, but again, when you're talking fair value, Bitcoin, ETH, maybe a little overextended right now. Link and EOS, I do think are very promising projects. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised to see EOS, if it does once again consume some of that capital outflow from the larger players, reach its all-time high again, 23, 24, maybe $25, set a new all-time high, like everything else has been doing over the course of this year, because once again, it's a very promising project. So obviously, just $9 right now, if we can see 24, 25, I mean $27, we'll just call it $27 price target for the 3x on EOS right now. So EOS, very promising. Let's quickly go over XRP. XRP is in a beautiful, massive bullish pennant right now. So it will be interesting. XRP is just kind of in a weird place right now with all the regulatory hurdles that they've been seeing, the SEC stuff, which is why I personally got out of XRP. I did like XRP for a long time. I'm pretty indifferent on it, if I'm being completely honest. But from a technical perspective, pure technical play, XRP looks good. It did break out of this very elongated kind of bull flag pattern that we were watching for a long time. Broke out, absolutely ripped. So congrats to you if you were in on this XRP rip. Unfortunately, I wasn't. This was like after the SEC kind of dropped some charges, but it's still a little shady, which is why I'm not back in. From a technical perspective, though, symmetrical triangle, bullish pennant, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times these symmetrical triangles, symmetrical patterns will resolve themselves in the general direction of the overall trend. Obviously, XRP is in a very bullish overall long-term uptrend. So it wouldn't surprise me to see this bullish pennant resolve to the upside. But again, from a fundamental perspective, if the cryptocurrency market overall starts to melt a little bit, altcoins are going to melt that much harder, and XRP is known for being extremely volatile, like more volatile than many assets, just because of the nature of the sketchy nature of XRP. It's always been that way. Again, I've liked Ripple for a long time. If you do, nothing against you, like to each their own for sure. But I would bet this resolves itself, in all honesty, to the downside. If I was a betting man, which I am, I do think this is going to resolve itself to the downside. But from a technical perspective, this pattern is bullish, a very bullish pattern, and I would not be surprised at all if it breaks out to the upside, if everything else goes well for the reasons we've been talking about this whole time. But I also, again, if I was betting, I would say like 60-40. It's going to break to the downside. I think it's going to be a fake out. Looks very bullish. Once again, not surprised at all if it breaks out, but I would bet on a breakdown. Let's close it out with Doge. Read this article before you do that, and then close it out with Doge on the charts, and just kind of sum up my current thoughts on the crypto space to close out the video, right? And then BlockFi, of course, BlockFi.com/Royce. Earn interest on your crypto. Okay, so Doge, again, let's read through this first, and then I'll talk to you guys about my downside, obviously, price target for Doge. Yo, Tamagotchi DOGEcoin. So the I love, dude, shout out Cointelegraph. They have the sickest graphics. I don't know who their graphic editor is, but this is such clean graphic illustration. So if you happen to be watching, shout out to you. This is sick. The rapid emergence, The rapid emergence of Dogecoin as the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization has led some to perceive the meme coin as a mere fad, something very much here today, but doomed to be gone by tomorrow. But in the unlikely event that Dogecoin were to actually disappear tomorrow, its lasting impact on the cryptocurrency space leaves a legacy far beyond what yo-yos and Tamagotchis supplied to bored kids in the pre-internet days. Founder of Bitcoin Center NYC and Zap Protocol, Nick Spanos, believes Dogecoin is indeed a fad, but an invaluable one at that. And I quote, "Doge is a fad within a growing movement that is here to stay," said Spanos, adding to the hype created by Elon Musk's appearance on Saturday Night Live, which resulted in almost a 40% price crash, would ultimately bring more eyes to legitimate projects in the crypto space. We'll talk about the buy the hype, sell the news as we dive into the charts there, which was very, very, very obvious if you've been in this game for even a moderate amount of time. Dogecoin's perceived lack of utility stems from unequal distribution of its coin supply, its inflationary coin production, and its general lack of development since the early founders packed up and left. So, also talked about this in the Discord call. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys were part of that Discord call. It was a really fun time. Went really long, a little longer than expected, but it was a fun time. So let me know in the comments down below if you were part of that. But we did cover kind of just this as far as utility goes. like EOS, ChainLink, very high utility level, very strong fundamentals. Doge is, if you're going to define a pump and dump, it's literally like, it sounds, it's negative, but again, it's unfortunately I skew negative, which is why I don't trade Doge. Again, if you made money, congrats to you, cheers to that, eat up. But again, this is a textbook, literally like definition pump and dump. So Dogecoin, again, meme coin, was invented as meme. I remember Doge years ago, held a bag of Doge just literally for the meme years ago, that had I held on to, obviously that's everyone can say that, oh, if I had held on to my Bitcoin when I initially had it, held on to my Ether, so that's sick. But Doge, again, meme coin, there's no utility aside from what people prescribe it. I know Elon Musk did just do the SpaceX thing. They're allowing payments in Doge, because Elon probably holds a fat bag of Doge and he's just trying to be a meme lord, which he is. Elon is a great entrepreneur, but above an entrepreneur and a global just world changer, he is a meme lord. Okay, so again, Dogecoin, very low utility, which is why it's only what people make it. And as diamond-y as people, especially these retail investors who have probably never traded before, just bought a bag of Dogecoin, saw their net worth 2x, and then when you make that much money and then lose money, you get scared. And there's a lot of hands that think they're very strong in Doge right now that I can guarantee will weaken as the price drops 20, 30, 40%, okay? Like it just did, which is what we're seeing now, and I do think this will escalate. Again, as we dive into the charts, I'll talk to you guys about my overall price targets here. Just looking at this, like two-wave, like the good old two-wave theory right there. If you guys have been following along, first wave, crash, capitulation. Second wave, usually that's kind of the end of the streak for the most part. So, again, let's finish out this article, and then we will dive back in. So Dogecoin's perceived lack, sorry, I just read that, but that needn't be a reason to ignore the utility Dogecoin does bring to the table, said Spanos, who pointed out the massive surge in interest in Dogecoin has already brought to the crypto space. And I quote, once again, Doge is a powerful marketing tool driving attention and adoption of crypto and decentralization as a concept. And in that respect, it is invaluable. Spanos described the extortion fees, inflation, and financial execution regularly practiced by big banks and governments, adding that if any ill feeling aimed at Dogecoin should be directed toward those previously mentioned entities. And I quote, I expect many people to cash in on their Doge profits in the coming days, and this is likely to boost the wider crypto market as a lot of this money will flow into other altcoins, which have strong potential instead of being converted into fiat money. So again, that same reason, everyone knows, like, it's just easier to convert your existing cryptocurrency into other cryptos that you're more bullish on, as opposed to converting it to US dollars. If the entire market melts, that's when it changes, and that's when you see like USDC and stuff really pop off. Again, shout out to the newsletter. You guys know the deal with USDC and stuff, even USD like Tether, which actually we're talking about as we get into the BlockFi calculator, because they're doing like a special like 10% interest on USDC and stable coins, which is amazing as well. And another catalyst that also leads me kind of to believe people will start to convert like all the coins that are depreciating value into plays like just USDC, just liquid. But again, let's close this out, because this last line right here is good. Okay, so the latest data from Google Trends shows that search interest for Dogecoin in the past week matched that of Bitcoin for the first time in history, and this is a very, very good, in my opinion, sign of the top of a bubble. Okay, we've seen like everyone on the planet at this point knows what Doge is. If someone was going to buy Doge, they've already bought it. And the fact that people are still Googling it, especially, obviously because Elon Musk just went on SNL. The fact that people are still Googling it is probably because of SNL. But if investors actually were going to buy Doge at this point, they would have bought it already. This bubble, I think, is about to pop. Maybe we did establish a higher low just now. You can see, again, higher lows, high, low, higher, high. Maybe it's bouncing off the higher low using the initial high of this rally as a base. I do think this is going to be a dead cat bounce. This is a three black crows right here. Well, I don't think I've ever talked about that. But again, 3 red candles just going straight down. That's usually a very, very bearish thing, especially on the daily charts. And again, just looking at this looks like pretty much every bubble that I've ever seen play out. So big move up. Again, 2 waves, the 2-wave theory. Like a lot of times with especially rips like this, it's rare you see more than 2 big moves like this up, okay? Especially on daily candles. Again, this has been an amazing rally. Again, once again, congrats to you. Nothing against you. If you still, even if you like Doge now, nothing against you at all. To each their own once again. But price target for Doge, just to be straight up here. I would be surprised, in all honesty, if Doge ultimately comes down to, that's kind of my conservative price target right here, but absolute price target is going to be about like 8 or 9 cents. So 8.5, we'll call it 8.5. We'll call it 9 cents just to play conservative, just to test the initial high of this rally. I mean, Doge in February reached a high of like 8 cents, 9 cents. That's crazy considering Doge was at like a fraction of a penny before. And now it's at 46 cents. So we're seeing crazy price increases here. Initial price target for Doge, again, this is a very conservative price target. I do think will fall lower. You know what, right here, you guys, you call this a high. I'll say right there is my ultimate price target at just about 9.5 cents. I think Doge over the course of May will reach 10 cents. So I'll say that right now, Doge price target by May, or at some point in later May, because things can happen. I mean, this happened fast, but things fall a lot faster than they climb. Trust me, I've experienced it. I've learned that the hard way, but that's unfortunately how the game goes, especially with an asset like DOGEcoin. In the article, once again, it's doing good things for the crypto space. It's bringing people to the space, and the benefit of that is that people will ultimately understand that Doge is a meme coin with no utility, but that leads them to educate themselves on coins that actually do have utility, like ETH, like Link, like EOS, like Bitcoin, that are very promising as far as fundamentals are concerned, actual prospects of what the company is doing and what the blockchain provides in the financial, like the financial system 2.0, and in the future of finance and stuff, DeFi, NFTs, blockchain tech itself. Hopefully, some of this capital, as Nick Zappo. I've listened to podcasts with that guy, but yeah, the founder of the guy we just talked about, or the guy we just quoted a bunch, as he said, capital will likely flow from this into whether it's Link, EOS, ETH, USDC, which we're going to talk about right now. I'm personally taking profits, and again, over the course of the coming days, weeks, I will likely start to convert a little bit more of my capital. I'm sorry, not my capital, my investments, my crypto investments specifically, into USDC, into Tether, especially because BlockFi is doing this, and I already took advantage of this, but as I convert more crypto into stable coins like, again, Tether or USDC, I'm definitely going to put it in here because they are doing the limited time offer, which is spanning a while until July 31st. So you have some time. Earn 10% APY on new stablecoin balances until July 31st. Interest is paid in crypto. Terms apply. So if you put in USDC, you earn interest in USDC. Earn more from your crypto. BlockFi.com/Royce. Again, you get a bonus. I get a little something as well. You don't have to use my link. Obviously I appreciate it if you use my link, but again, BlockFi is an amazing company. That's a very obvious yes in my mind. But again, you guys do your own research. Earn more from your crypto with a BlockFi interest account. Your cryptocurrency can earn up to 8.6% APY. Interest accrues daily and is paid monthly. There are no hidden fees, no minimum balances, and no reason to wait. So USDC, again, they are doing this. You can do the same thing with Tether. So USDC, if you put in $10,000. So one USDC is obviously $1 US. It's pegged, it's tied to the US dollar. $10,000. So just put 10,000 USDC, 10,000 bucks in your BlockFi account, and leave it in there for 5 years. Over the course of that 5 years, you're going to earn $5,000. So again, the interest, like 10% interest is unheard of. Banks, you get what, like 0.5% interest if you leave it in a savings account. This, you get 10% at this point in time. You get 10% a year, which is insane. And this might not happen again. Like 10% is very generous if the cryptocurrency market does pull back. If things do change, then this will likely, again, this is only a limited time thing. So I do think this will probably go back down to like 6, maybe 8% tops, but this is a great offer right now. So let's take a look at this. Again, you can do Bitcoin. I currently have the majority of my Bitcoin in here. Ether works as well. You can do a lot. All the things you see here is what you can put a BlockFi, earn interest on. Bitcoin, I believe, is like 6.5% APY, around 6 to 7% like interest you get per year, annual interest. If you put definitely not 10,000 Bitcoin. Let's just do one Bitcoin for 5 years. Over that 5 years, you're gonna earn $10,000 in Bitcoin. And again, as Bitcoin goes up, I think 5 years from now, Bitcoin could easily be beyond $100,000. So obviously you have your Bitcoin in here, keep it in there for 5 years. Bitcoin goes from 50 grand to 100 grand. You get that 50 grand and you get this. So over 5 years, you'll get this $10,500. But the beauty of that is the fact that Bitcoin goes up, you're going to earn that same amount of interest. So as Bitcoin goes up, the amount of interest you earn, although the rate stays the same, although you earn 6 to 7% interest, because Bitcoin's appreciating in value as like the asset itself is appreciating, you earn more interest due to that reason. Okay. So again, you guys do your own research, but this is a very easy sell in my mind. Shout out to the boys over at BlockFi, the team, the entire team, the boys and girls, ladies. Happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day, you guys. If any moms are watching, shout out to you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Definitely give you guys a heart. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the mamas out there. Should have said that at the beginning, but sorry I didn't. again, shout out to you guys. Of course, throw the waves, throw the 100 emoji down below if you're still around. Appreciate you guys watching through this, especially like, it's crazy. Again, it's still surreal that we're sponsored. We're partnered with such an amazing company in BlockFi. So let me know if you guys check them out. Let me know if you have a BlockFi interest account, if you guys have been using it, because again, the Waves family is so pumped to be part. So for that link will be down in the description as well. Definitely should have said that. I don't think I did. But blockfi.com/Royce. Go check out the link. And again, you can get up to $250. I think you got to deposit like 10K to get $250. But you deposit $1,000, you get like 25 bucks in free crypto if you do that. So again, link will be down below. Appreciate it if you guys check that out. But yeah, like if you just go make a BlockFi account if you think it's right for you, even if you don't use my link. So we'll call it there, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below what cryptocurrency you're most bullish on at the moment. Love to see Link flip in green right now. Feels very good to see that. And again, if capital does flow out of plays like BTC, ETH, Doge into more promising fundamental companies, I think Link and EOS are very good contenders, personally at least. And always know, you guys, money's on what I'm saying. So let me know in the comments down below what your favorite play in the crypto market is right now, what your favorite stock is. Again, we'll cover these more over the course of the week. If you do want those daily updates, once again, $15 a month for the newsletter and portfolio. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the comments downstairs. So until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.